Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. It's time to kick off a brand new year, yeah? 2025, I'd say, was pretty jam-packed with great games. Had a lot of fun, played a lot of great stuff. And it is looking like 2026 may very well be a repeat of that. Although things are starting out a little slow, there's a couple of decent-looking games worth checking out, I think, in January. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, after many years of anticipation, Hytale is finally launching this month. This is the standalone game inspired and created by the people who made Hypixel, a quite popular Minecraft server, to say the least. Now, the gist here is it's kind of like Minecraft, but with a much heavier emphasis on adventuring, exploration, combat, and RPG elements. In fact, to quote the developer directly, Hytale blends the freedom of a sandbox with the momentum of an RPG, explore a procedurally generated world full of dungeons, secrets, and a variety of creatures, then shape it block by block. Now, this is going to be an early access release during which they will be focusing on polishing the core systems of exploration, responsive combat, and robust building, alongside offering creator tools for making your own content, crafting minigames, and running community servers. And yes, much like Minecraft, community-built stuff will ideally add a whole lot more mileage to the game. Now, it's been quite a wild ride for Hytale, and I'm glad to see that it's actually being given a real shot. If you haven't kept up with the news, this thing basically nearly never released. It was first revealed back in December 2018 with a trailer that got many people very excited, reaching a whopping 61 million views as of this recording. In fact, it was so well received that Riot Games took notice and purchased the rights to the game. Now, initially, their plan was, let's just invest a ton of cash into it and make Hytale as good as it can be, and then release it in a couple years. However, at some point along the process, Riot decided it would actually be best if they swapped engines. I think this was mainly motivated by them wanting to be multi-platform. So they worked on this engine swap for the next 4 to 5 years, but eventually realized it wasn't working, and so they canceled development and the game altogether this past June. As of then, this thing was dead in the water. However, just a couple of months ago, it was revealed that the original creator of Hytale purchased the ownership rights back from Riot with the intention of releasing it as it was 4 years ago on the original engine. And that is basically what they've been cooking up over the past couple of months here, trying to get that old version of the game in as good enough of a state as they can for a public release. And we're going to find out very soon how all of that turned out. I am quite interested in this. In fact, the gameplay trailer from a few weeks ago seemed pretty darn solid, so I am looking forward to diving in. Hytale will be launching into early access on January 13th. Keep in mind, though, this is not a Steam early access release. However, the game will be purchasable on the official Hytale website. They've got a base price of 20 USD with a couple of higher tier bundles in there as well. Speaking of good games to play in January, today's video is sponsored by Warframe, a longtime favorite of mine and one of the first real online looter shooters I ever fell in love with. This is the game where you play as a space ninja participating in an ever-growing story while zipping around maps, blowing up groups of enemies, taking on bosses, and completing one of the many different objectives, side activities, and mini games they've been adding over the years, all in service of unlocking new playable classes, i.e. the Warframes, along with weapons and various power-ups. Now, recently, Warframe got its latest big update, the Old Peace, which launched back on December 10th. This came with a brand new cinematic story quest where you will relive the lost memories of Tau. In addition, the update also includes 2 brand new game modes, Perida Rebellion, which has you embarking into a war zone on the Tau moon of Perida. It's a time-based mode. You got 12 minutes to complete objectives before facing off against the boss. Then there is the Descendia, this endgame challenge where you descend through 21 floors of increasing difficulty. These floors rotate weekly with new forays, rewards, and obstacles. There's also the Devil Frame Uriel, the 63rd Warframe to the game. You can summon these demon minions into the battlefield. There are Operator and Drifter cosmetic overhauls, 3 new Gemini skins, and a bunch more. Yeah, I mean, the game is a lot of fun and just keeps getting more new content year after year with updates like this one. As of this date, there are more than 60 Warframes, over 18 planets with 4 open worlds to discover. Pretty crazy. Game is great. I really enjoy it. You can sign up and play Warframe for free today on all platforms, including iOS, and they've got a closed beta for Android. Links available below. All right, next up, let's talk about Highguard. Now, I kind of feel like I'm going actually crazy here. I don't think this thing looks nearly as bad as everybody else on the internet seems to. I mean, sure, the characters are kind of generic. They're not really motivating me and getting me pumped up or anything, but the gunplay, as I can judge from the trailer, does look legitimately solid. And I also like the idea of a first-person shooter base rating competitive multiplayer game. It also looks like there's some PvE content where you kill NPCs to collect resources or something, eventually unlocking the ability to attack an opposing team's base, busting open their shield barrier, and then raiding the inside with environmental destruction where you can blast open walls and floors and stuff. Like, sure, I've got shooter fatigue just as much as anybody else, and I wouldn't say I'm over the moon hyped for this game. If anything, I'm just kind of lukewarm, like, seems interesting. But holy crap, everyone has been talking about this like it's the worst thing they've ever seen, which kind of blows my mind. Like, it seems fine, right? Did Highguard steal everybody's lunch money or something? I just really don't get the outrage over this. Maybe it's just because I've been off Twitter for far too long. I'm going on a year straight clean, feeling great. I'm just not tuned really into the online discourse, and I'm not really getting the outrage here. I think the gameplay seemed decent from the trailer, and given it is from the people who made Titanfall and Apex, I would expect the shooting to feel at the very least quite solid. That said, it's clear the cards are stacked against this, especially if the initial online reception is any indication. Nevertheless, I will give it a shot as always. I'm just hoping for good, fun games to play. Maybe this will be one of those. Maybe it'll be boring and uninspired. We'll find out soon enough. Barring any last-minute delays, currently Highguard is set to release on January 26th, coming first to PC with an eventual console launch planned for later on. All right, the Midnight Walkers. This is a hardcore PvPvE FPS zombie extraction game. Everyone's looking for a new one of those, right? I know many of you are still hyped up on Arc Raiders, which I totally get. It's for good reason. That game is legitimately amazing. But hey, zombies. What about an extraction game where you added zombies? That could be good. You can play either solo or in trios. You're going to go around scavenging for loot to get gear, killing zombies as well as other players or survivors as you all try to escape, make it out alive. You can craft with the materials as well as buy and sell more powerful equipment. But like most extractions, of course, if you die, you lose it all. The game is set in Liberty Grand Center. This is a giant mega complex made up of many floors, each of them having different themes. There's a hospital, a shopping mall, and a casino. And then beyond the zombies, yes, you're going to be dealing with other players. As time passes, they've got this poison gas that spreads to random floors, I guess, instead of having a closing circle like a lot of these games do, and you have to use elevators or stairs to avoid that spreading gas. There are 4 classes to choose from. You have got Brick, a warrior armed with a large hammer and heavy armor, Crow, an assassin who's quick and uses daggers, Lockdown is a sniper with a bow, and Margarita is a support class that mixes cocktails to heal and buff allies. Legitimately, like, pretty clever there. Now, originally this game was supposed to release back in November. However, they delayed it in order to polish and optimize the game a bit further. I would say that's a pretty good call because some of those initial trailers did look a bit choppy. Hopefully they got some good work done because yeah, it's been a hot minute since I played a zombie game. I'm totally down for one of those, and I do in fact think this is a pretty good setting for the extraction formula. The Midnight Walkers is set to release on January 28th. It will be coming to PC via Steam Early Access. Cairn is a survival roguelike climbing simulator. You play as a mountaineer attempting to reach the summit of Mount Kami, which requires planning a route and executing an incredibly treacherous climb. This is a pretty neat looking game. It has had a demo out available for it for a fair while now, and I've heard pretty positive buzz around that. And yeah, I mean, it's really about 2 things. You are climbing this mountain and trying to survive. It features this realistic simulation system that allows for intuitive climbing. While you are scaling, you'll constantly be searching for the best holds to place your hands and feet upon, while having to maintain your posture, effort, and balance, else you will fall. You play as Ava with the goal of being the first human to ever reach the summit of Mount Kami. Along your route, you're going to be meeting unexpected companions and hearing from those left back on the ground. They say it's a fairly open exploration game, as you're actually free to climb anywhere as you make your ascent up the mountain, approaching each rock face, looking at and planning your route ahead of time, and then carefully making your way up. There will of course be unexpected challenges that present themselves during the process, from weather to animals to other various things. And again, beyond beyond the climbing, there's a whole extra layer of survival stuff, as you'll have to manage your resources with pitons, chalk, finger tape, food, water, and medicine, which all will be limited and found both during and in between climbs. It's a bit of a different kind of game, but I do think this looks pretty cool, and I've heard again some really good things from people who have tried the demo. Definitely rather unique. Cairn launches on January 29th, coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. All right, so those are the main games on this month's list for me, but now on to the honorable mentions. StarRupture is a first-person open-world base building game with an emphasis on combat and exploration. You can play solo or in a group as you explore this ever-changing planet, extract and manage resources, create your complex industrial system, and fight hordes of alien monsters. It's all set on a deadly planet. This is one large, seamless open world, hosting a variety of biomes. These repeated cataclysms shape the land, which is now rich in resources and with plenty of secrets to discover. There is, of course, base building. You will search, mine, and process resources as you construct complex industrial systems, fighting off alien bugs who routinely attack your base. And again, you can play solo or in groups of up to 4. StarRupture is coming to Steam Early Access on January the 6th. Code Vein 2 is an anime action RPG and follow-up to the 2019 original. Setting off on an adventure, you and your chosen partners will explore a post-apocalyptic world, facing fierce battles against powerful enemies and uncovering an epic story that transcends time. Wow, that's something. Action combat is a major highlight here. You'll be reading enemy moves and dodging attacks to survive while countering with your own powerful skills and combos. It's got a unique battle system as you drain blood from enemies and acquire their skills. There's new weapon and skill customization in the sequel here for opening up different playstyles, and powerful partner characters. These are allies who fight alongside you, enhancing your abilities. And of course, there's some narrative stuff in here as well. Code Vein 2 launches on January 29th for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Lost Isles, an open world survival game set in a medieval fantasy world. You will build your own settlement and protect it from monstrous beasts and other real players. Some really interesting sounding stuff in this game. So for one, they're going to be offering dedicated servers that support up to 200 players. You'll be fighting AI enemies from woodland creatures to fantasy skeletons, goblins, and demons, and the game offers both PvE servers as well as full-blown PvP ones where the, say, 200 or so players on your server can just go at it. They've got a directional combat system that will reward properly aiming your attacks and blocks, and various fantasy classes where you can play as a wizard, an archer, a knight, and many combinations in between from the weapons and gear that you choose, as well as various skills available. This could either be a sleeper hit or absolute rubbish. I cannot really tell at the moment, but I'm keeping my eye on it. Either way, we will find out when it releases this January, although the exact date is to be determined. A couple of updates as well that I'd like you to know about. First of all, 2006 has called. They've said hello. It is time once more to step back through the dark portal. That's right. On January 13th, the pre-patch for Burning Crusade comes to the Classic WoW Anniversary servers. Or in other words, we are getting ready to head to the Outlands for the 3rd time. Now, I've been playing a fair bit of Classic WoW over the past year, mostly on hardcore servers, but with the news that the Burning Crusade is back again, I could not resist. I am currently leveling up a Warlock. I might also level a Paladin, and intend to take a trip back in time to when I was 20 years old, getting chased by Fell Reavers, skipping my classes, and grinding WoW. Honestly, really looking forward to it, especially if I can con any of my friends into playing with me again as well. Notice the words that I'm using here, by the way. All right, so the pre-patch will be live on January 13th. With this, the leveling process from 1 to 60 will be nearly twice as fast, and you're going to have access to level the additional races of Draenei and Blood Elf, which also means Horde Paladins and Alliance Shamans. Also in pre-patch, we got the new Profession Jewel crafting, some class mechanics changes like raid-wide heroism / bloodlust, and some PvP changes with an honor system revamp and ranked gear. Then a couple weeks after that, we don't have an exact date, but anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks after the start of pre-patch, we're going to get the full release of Burning Crusade on the Anniversary servers, at which point we head back into the Outlands. We level through its zones up to the new cap of 70. There's the introduction of arena PvP, a whole bunch of new content, new battlegrounds, new PvE dungeons and raids, and also flying, my least favorite mechanic in pretty much every MMO, World of Warcraft included. All right, yeah, I've had a lot of fun with Classic WoW into 2025, and I'm looking forward to more fun with Classic WoW in 2026. WoW Burning Crusade pre-patch, yeah, January 13th, looking forward to it. And then also, No Rest for the Wicked is finally getting the highly requested feature of co-op multiplayer. This is happening on January 22nd. This is exactly as it sounds, the ability to play through the game now with other people in groups of up to 4. The game has already been a ton of fun solo, really enjoyed it, and keen to see see how it plays in a group. Certainly a lot of potential for synergizing different builds. Looking forward to the options of ramping up the challenge as well while playing in the groups. Yeah, so it's kind of like a quieter month, but there's a few things in here that I'm genuinely really looking forward to. Hytale is probably at the top of the list. Next to that is definitely going to be Burning Crusade. I do want to jump into No Rest for the Wicked for the co-op. I'm interested in checking out Highguard. I cannot believe how many people, or how loud it has been of people saying this is just completely horrendous, awful, worst thing. I don't get it. Like, does it seem amazing? Do I think it's going to be the next big multiplayer game? Not necessarily, but it seems fine. People really hate this thing. It's really something. And then a couple other things in there that I'd like to jump into as well if I have the time. But definitely we'll be playing a lot of Hytale, a lot of World of Warcraft, and hopefully a lot of No Rest for the Wicked, checking out the co-op. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. We'll have some updates, some videos, and all that. That is all for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know anything else coming out in January that I should know about that you're going to be checking out. Let me know in the comments below. But that is all for now. Thank you as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Take it easy, guys.